Well, here we are in the last of the summertime vacation holidays and heading towards the fall and back to school and reading and writing and arithmetic, as they used to say, the 3 R's. I don't know, they've added a bunch of other things to it lately. And I am really excited to have Howard Berg with us today, and he is considered the world's fastest reader. And his book, Speed Reading the Easy Way, is now in his 28th reprint. And I think you're going to find him to be a tremendous resource. Perhaps you've seen him on television, but now he's arrived because he's on the Dove TV and radio. Hi, Howard. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you. Well, boy, your book is really popular, and you would think with computers and iPads and all that we'd be reading more, but I guess we're not comprehending as much, right?
That's correct. Information doubles every 6 months. And now the global economy is based on using information. And so it's become a challenge for people to stay on top of all the information they need to know for work, school, and home. And I'll give them some strategies today to help improve their reading speed and comprehension.
Wow. Okay, so why are people reading slower? Is it just because they're so overwhelmed with all this stuff?
The explanation is simple. If you're driving in a car, you're going about 70 miles an hour on a highway, and you're reading the road in 4 directions, front, back, left, and right. And at the same time, you're watching your instrument gauges, you're listening to the radio, talking on the phone, talking to people in the car, and you're bored. You read a book in one direction at about 200 words a minute, and you're lucky if you remember 10% of what you read the next day. And the difference between those two types of reading is in the car, you process everything like a movie. And so you're seeing all the information. In a book, so it's just someone's in back of your head pronouncing one word at a time. So you're actually listening to a book with your eyes instead of seeing it. And we found a way to make it more visual so a normal person could double in about 2.5 hours. And if you'd like, I could get them started today and get about 10-20% faster in about 2 minutes.
All right, go for it.
What you want to do after the show is find a book you've read and understood. And the reason for that is we want to make sure the only possible reason you might be confused is how fast you're reading and not what you're reading. Since you know what you're reading already, there's only one reason you wouldn't know it. You're reading too fast. And time yourself for a minute. Maybe you want to use a smartphone. A lot of you have smartphones, or use a watch, or you could use an egg timer in the kitchen. And for 1 minute, read at your peak comprehension rate the way you normally would read. And at the end of the minute, mark off with a pen where you finished. Now, here's the secret. Go to the next chapter. And I want you to begin using your left hand and move your hand from the left to the right margin all the way across the page with your eye following your hand as you're reading from the left to the right margin, not down the middle. And read as quickly as you could comprehend. Keep going quicker till you can't comprehend to find your ceiling, and then drop your speed down just enough so it comes back with comprehension. And for about 10 minutes, practice reading with your eye following your hand at your peak comprehension rate. Then go back to the first chapter where you timed yourself originally, and this time read for a minute using your hand. And you're going to find you go 10, 15, maybe even 20% further just by that simple step. What you're doing is you're beginning to read more visually and seeing it more like a camera and less like a conversation. It takes about 2.5 hours to do 100%, but this is actually the very first step so you can experience directly how easy it is to speed up.
All right, so just by using your hand?
Yes.
Wow. So what's happening in your brain? Is your hand becoming the camera?
What's happening is your hand is pacing your eye. A lot of people, when they read, there's a lot of things that are going on. For example, many people have what's called visual regression. They'll read a sentence like, the dog went home. And they just keep repeating things, and that's how they read. And so it becomes very, very stilted and very slow. The hand keeps the eye focused more like a camera and less like an ear, and keeps it moving at a continual pace. And so it becomes a more visual experience, and that's why we're able to read faster, because vision's more powerful than hearing. We take in huge amounts of information visually, but only one soundbite at a time auditorily.
That is absolutely fascinating. Do we hear ourselves in our brain when we're reading?
Yes, but we don't need to.
Okay.
And that's what I'm going to teach you now. I'm going to teach 2 more very powerful strategies.
All right, go.
I'm going to show you exactly how to boost comprehension and what you need to look for, so you know exactly what you need to learn before you even open the book. Would that be helpful?
Go for it, man.
Okay. First thing I want to talk about is comprehension, because a lot of times people will say, okay, you read super fast, but do you understand anything? Actually, I did a 4-year psych program in a year, and I've had 11-year-olds take college courses for credit in a week, pass them with A's. I had one student pass the bar in California at 19, Micah Stanley. Brad Voller did 4-year college in 6 months. Stephen Terry had his master's in math at 19 with a 3.97. Here's what you're doing. The way we read, we're looking for something called schema, which is a big word, but that's because they like to use big words at college. What it means is what you know already.
Okay.
And I'm going to read a passage that has no schema, and watch how confusing it is, even though the words are easy. And then I'll put a 1-word title on it. Instantly, you'll know exactly what it means. So here's the schemaless text without the title. This is an easy thing to do. If possible, you could do it at home, but you could always go someplace else if it's necessary. Beware of overdoing it. This is a major mistake and may cost you quite a bit of money. Is it safe to say right now you're not sure what I'm talking about? Does that make sense?
That sounds like a bill in Congress.
Thank you. I actually read the healthcare bill in 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Uncle Fudo. But I'm going to put a title on now.
All right.
And watch how instantly the words make total sense. Just one word. Laundry. Laundry. This is an easy thing to do. If possible, you could do it at home. But you could always go someplace else if it's necessary. Beware of overdoing it. This is a major mistake that may cost you quite a bit of money. How confusing is it now?
Wow.
What happened is, this is the golden ticket. If you know where the schema is, how to find it, and you're reading 2 to 4 times faster, not only is your speed going up, but your understanding actually gets better.
Wow.
And the next thing I'd like to share, if there's time, is what are you looking for?
Yeah, where do you find that in the paragraph?
Exactly. What's the important information? I think a lot of people, and their students that are getting ready to go back to school, have had the experience of, I can't learn all this. There's too much here. What am I looking for? Have you ever had that experience?
Yes, yes.
What if I told you there's only 5 things you need to know?
Go for it.
And if you learn just those 5 things, you'll get an A in anything you do, whether it's at work or school.
All right, give it to me.
The first of the 5 things is the words, the vocabulary. 80% of learning a new subject is learning the vocabulary. So what words are you looking for? They're bolded, they're italic, they're underlined, they're in strange fonts, they're in color, they might be in a table. Something is different. The writer wanted you to notice these words don't look the same as all the, it's like, it says one of these things is not like the others, but they did it on purpose to draw your attention. So the words are the first thing. The second thing are names. Who's in your book and what did they do? The third thing is any number, date, statistic, or formula. What is it? How do you use it? What does it mean? The fourth thing, this is very important. In most nonfiction books, there are headings and subheadings, which are basically like thematic folders. They keep the information that's related to itself in a container. And what you're looking for, what are the 5 most important ideas contained in every section and subsection? And the last thing you're looking for are the questions and the answers. You ever get to the end of a chapter and there are a bunch of questions, you're like, I didn't really look at that very much. I didn't realize it was important. What if you had read the questions first and knew what was important? Then when you saw it, you'd say, this is important. They ask questions about this. Wouldn't that make a big difference in your understanding?
Wow. Wow.
So we did this with a group of kids, 11 to 15. We gave them a 30-chapter book in lifelong developmental psychology, which is a sophomore course in college. Remember, the oldest student was 15. And in 1 week, just a week, 15 of the students were able to pass the CLEP exam for full college credit in a single week. So imagine what that can do for an adult or an older, more mature student properly applied. That's how powerful this is.
Wow, I'm out of time, but I'm going to have you back. I can tell you real quick, I'm going to get you back. Where can people go to connect into you and your resources?
If you go to Rule Reading, R-U-L-E, Rule Reading, you'll be able to get the full reading program. Try it risk-free for a month. We guarantee you'll at least go 100% faster with excellent comprehension. We'll send it back. It's that simple. And we also have a complete learning system is available as well on that same page, rulereading.com.
Rulereading.com.
And I'll help them personally if they need help. I actually give them my contact information. I don't just want to market a program. I want people to learn a program.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're a delight. Thank you, an inspiration. Let's have you back, okay?
I'd love that. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Howard. Have a great day, my friend. Okay.
Take care.
We'll be right back.